A great show for you tonight. The stars of T2 Trainspotting are here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes! Plus, joining them is the director Danny Boyle. And of course, Danny didn't just direct both Trainspotting movies. No, he's done other things. He directed the opening ceremony of the London Olympics. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes. Of course, that also featured a group of chronic drug addicts. Another one of Danny's big hits was 28 Days Later, where a guy wakes up in a post-apocalyptic world to find the streets are completely deserted. Yeah. Or as Donald Trump would call it, a very successful inauguration. Good that, wasn't it? I didn't see it coming. I did not see that coming. As we speak, Theresa May is visiting Donald Trump. She'll be staying overnight at the White House and has bought some new pyjamas, especially for the occasion. Yeah. It's nightwear. After taking office, one of the first things Trump did was to restore the Winston Churchill bust to the Oval Office. Aww. He's also got plans on what to do with Theresa May's bust. Let's get to the guest on! Later, we have music from rising soul star Izzy Bizu! But first, let's meet the stars of T2 Trainspotting, Ewen Bremner! Hey! Hello, sir, you're very welcome. Robert Carlyle! Hello! Nice to see you. Jonny Lee Miller! Ewan McGregor! And director Danny Boyle! Hello! Hi! Sit down! Oh. This is mad. Anyway, lovely to see you all. Welcome, welcome. Now, Danny, obviously on set, you're in charge.
Apparently, yeah.
On a night like tonight, are you in charge of the set?
Just wait and see. You'll quickly find out I'm not.
The answer is no. Yeah. So, welcome back, Trainspotting. Sunday night was the big premiere in Edinburgh. Look at you all. That must have been a great night for you all.
Yeah. That was fantastic. Yeah. The whole of Edinburgh seemed to turn out in the streets. It was wonderful.
And at least, now, Jonny and Ewan, can you remember this one now?
This one we remember, I think, yeah.
It was only on Sunday, in fairness.
Yeah.
But
Bits in it.
So we've got the last one. This is you 20 years ago. And you guys don't remember this one?
Not remember.
Not really. Not really at all. I don't really remember it. I don't remember what...
And you all look so happy and lovely, and you're scanning across, and then you get to Robert Carlyle. Did no one give you the dress code?
No.
Was it come as you are?
No. See, I do remember it because I'd been filming in Nicaragua, in actual fact. And of course, there was no... This is days before really internet. So we had no idea that any of the build-up to the first film was happening. So I came across that the very night of the premiere. I landed at Heathrow, and I seen his face in all these magazines. I thought, something's happening here. This is bizarre.
I'll get my sheepskin jacket.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is a special night.
But that's what I was wearing when I came off the plane.
Don't sweat this straight. Oh, it's all changed now. All changed now. And now, the person I must say hello to is Ewan, because Spud was such a kind of strong visual look, that thing. Like, so people, even now, it's used as kind of reference. Are you aware of what happened in Utah? Do you know this?
Oh, your researcher told me about this. It does ring a bell, yes.
Yeah. So basically, someone in Utah, this was only a couple of years ago, committed a crime, OK? And they didn't have a photograph of the criminal they were looking for. So this is the genuine wanted poster. Oh. It's something like that. He probably looks like this.
And did they ever catch him, Graham?
Don't go to Utah would be my advice. Do not do that. Oh, dear. So listen, we're here to celebrate the release of T2 Trainspotting, which opens everywhere tonight. I was saying to you all backstage, I loved it. I loved it. All those things you kind of worried about, have you left it too long and everything. But actually, the point is that it's 20 years later, isn't it?
It's kind of like our special effect, isn't it? Age is almost like our big, big money special effect.
Yes, no, because it's like watching children act, where children, what a convincing 6-year-old. But you all look 20 years older. It's excellent. Yeah, it's amazing.
Put a lot of work into it. You know,
really worked
really hard, yeah.
So at the end of the first film, Renton, obviously, you walked off with all the money, 16 grand. So 20 years later, where are we now? Where's Spud as the movie begins?
Spud is really not in a good place. He's been trying his best, struggling through the last 20 years to be a better man, the man that his wife and child need him to be. And it's devastating for him that he is crippled with his addictions and is unable to break free of them.
And great for you, but it is kind of amazing he's still alive.
It is amazing, but I mean, there's plenty of people you could say that about. You know, and rock and roll is littered with those cats that are still remarkably sprightly, you know, in their 60s and 70s right now. So, you know, I think there's life in the old Spud yet.
And Bigby, what's happened to Bigby?
Bigby's exactly what you expect him to be. He's in the nick. He's been there for the last 20 years, festering, thinking about this guy, thinking about the day you can meet him and kill him.
And I suppose the beginning, Sick Boy is the most kind of surprising what's happened to him in the 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like was not that surprised that he's sort of stuck in a rut, because that's one thing I really loved about where he is in the new film, is that his powers have waned, because people used to think Sick Boy was such a cool character, and I thought it was interesting to look at him and the fact that he's stuck in the same circles of behaviour, and he's sort of struggling in life, and he thinks he's winning and he's still a chancer, but he's really making bad decisions, and that's led to a lot of frustration and bitterness. So there are no parallels with my own life at all.
Were you worried about the movie going back and doing a Scottish accent again?
Yes. I mean, not worried, but I approached it differently. I kept up the accent the whole time filming the first one, because, you know, no one knew who we were. I could go to a pub in Glasgow and just wing it. And if you can get away with it, the pub in Glasgow, you can get away with it anywhere, right? And this time... As I was saying. Yeah, so I worked with a dialect coach this time around, because
you don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Practice some more accent.
I'm Scottish anymore.
And Ewan's story kind of was kicked off by Renton. Renton kind of...
Yeah, we find him in Amsterdam, where he's been for the last 20 years. And he has a medical emergency, has a cardiac issue, which causes him to rethink his life and come home for the first time. And when he comes home, we realise he hasn't even been home for his mother's funeral. And this is his coming back to face his mates again and find out what he's going to do with his life. And there's a lot of that feeling in the movie, that sort of search for the future through the past. There's a nostalgia in it that I think you're right in saying earlier wouldn't have existed if we'd made the film earlier. Yeah. You know, it's taken 20 years to have this beautiful weight of looking back at our youth through these characters, and as people who played them, looking at our own, which seems quite far away now, you know, sadly.
Well, no, because it's odd, because you kind of think that Trainspotting wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
And then, but you all look like children in the flashbacks. I mean, how much did you want this to stand alone, and how much did you... Because it's a delicate balance of how self-referential it would be.
Yeah, you can't just repeat it. And in fact, if you're going to do that, you do one straight away, which is the tradition with the sequel. So you've got to let the 20 years that has passed stand for the main element of the film, really, and the catch-up. And I think it does this weird thing. I mean, you know this as well. If you look back at you beginning this show compared to what you look like
All
now.
right, I'm a lot older, thank you.
But television has that... No, sorry.
He's a guest.
Television has that amazing... Film television. It freezes you in time. And people have an image. I remember Graham on his first show, and they have that image in their mind, and then they meet you in the street, or they... Yes. And they're like, no, I don't want him to look like that. And and with these... So what did I just do this? No, I meant it... Anyway.
All right, I've melted, Danny.
It went in a hole. But you know what I mean. And then suddenly...
Yes, we've established. I understand. I'm much older.
And then you unfreeze them in time, and you bring them next door to each other like this, and people can see them. And you do see these occasional glimpses of them back in the original film, and it's very moving. And it returns these guys to the common pool because it's something we all face.
Yeah.
Whether we're aware of it or not yet, it's in the post for everyone. This aging thing.
And also the bonds of shared history. I mean, I was talking to you backstage. That idea that those bonds of shared history, as you get older, take on an importance they never had.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you know, you talk about the time being right now, but I suppose one of the things about coming back was that one of the problems about all it was that you guys, for how many years did you not talk for?
Yeah, quite a bit.
A long time, yeah.
Yeah, sadly, yeah.
No, and I don't mean to trivialise it because it's an awful thing. You know, you really liked each other, you loved working together, and then it what was it? Was it one bus stop or was it a dribbling apart?
Well, it was just over a film that was a misunderstanding and a mishandling of. It was just over a film that I.
This was The Beach.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it did. It's a big regret of mine that it went on for so very long. It's a shame we didn't work together all those years.
Yeah.
Not because of any particular film, and it didn't really matter about The Beach. It was never about The Beach. It was about our friendship and how much I felt like Danny's. I was in the first three movies, you know, Shallow Grave, Trainspotting, and then A Life Less Ordinary. And then I wasn't in the fourth, and I was a bit. It made me a bit rudderless. I didn't quite get it, and yeah, we didn't speak for a long time, which was such a waste.
Because so it began with a lunch. Is the lunch when you told him he wasn't going to be in The Beach?
Yeah, and I think I handled it very, very badly, and I've apologised to you, and I kind of feel a shame about it. That's very difficult to. You know, it's one of the things, weirdly, that the film's about, is about trying to express emotions. And I felt a great shame about it, really. I was not proud of the way I handled it. And he, actually, handled it with enormous grace. Because, you know, you see these actors and they do big things and you hear these stories about them, and he handles all his world with enormous grace and courage, actually, which is the definition of grace. They say courage is grace under pressure, which he showed enormously. So... and we had this thing, we had this film, this Slumdog Millionaire, which was doing amazing, picking up all these amazing things, and somebody asked him, he didn't tell me, somebody asked him whether he'd present this kind of promotional award to me, which is one of the things you do on the route to the Oscars and stuff like that. And he did, and he stood up on stage and he made this amazing speech. And I was like in tears backstage. It was like, oh, God. So, yeah, wow. I'm very grateful to him.
Mm. And when this happens... In my life, friends of mine, if this happens, I always really unsuccessfully try to interfere and broker a peace. Did any of you try to get involved? Or did you just go, whoa, I'm leaving that alone?
We had our own feuds going on.
No one spoke to you in 15 years.
Yeah.
I was really upset about it, so upset I actually did The Beach with Danny.
Hashtag Team Danny. But very quickly, because I was reading, because they were coming on, I was reading about this.
Danny's actor now?
And I was reading about this, and there's a story that I don't know who told the story or how it ended up in the papers. It's a story, and I'm reading the story, and I'm thinking, this is obviously the lovely moment when they buried the hatchet and came together. Talk us through the flight back from, was it Shanghai?
Oh, dear.
Was it a 15-hour flight?
So I'm in the plane to Shanghai to promote a movie, and someone says, you know who the head of the jury is? And I went, no. And I went, Danny Boyle. Thinking I'd be delighted. And I was like, oh, my God. What are you going to say? And we bumped into each other, like, at things, and it was a bit awkward. And anyway, then we come back home. Because we're all showbiz celebrities, we were flying first class.
Of course.
And it was only three of us in first class. Danny, me, and my wife, Ev. and we're flying back, and we're scattered around. And then Ev falls asleep, and her light goes off, and I'm sitting there. And Danny's light's on, and my light's on, and I'm thinking, this is it. This is the moment. And I'm slightly behind, so I can see Danny. I'm thinking, this is it. This is when we just get it all out, and I'll say I'm sorry, and he'll say I'm sorry, and we'll get on with it. And we couldn't. We just sat there with our lights burning. So eventually, Danny's went off.
But you're back together now. It's all good now. It's all good now. Very good. Okay. It's you know, hindsight's an amazing thing, and of course now you look back. Of course, Trainspotting was going to be a big hit. But so Ewan, when you were in it, did you just think, oh, this is a job, or did you kind of know, oh, this is a good film, this is a really good film?
Well, I had been working on a stage play originally, playing Ewan McGregor's part in a stage play, and every night we were getting this phenomenal immediate response from audiences. So I knew the material really was hitting a nerve. And I was confident that this film was going to be a strong piece and people were going to respond to it, because I was seeing that every night on stage. But none of us had any conception of the scale, the profound effect and impact that it was going to make on the culture. And it was kind of overwhelming for myself, and I think probably for all of us. When you had the full Monty coming out, it just like clockwork, just like the next minute. So you were riding like sort of double tidal waves.
But it's interesting you mentioned the full Monty. So you know, talking about you don't know something's a hit when you're in it. You really didn't see hit written on the full Monty.
I thought it was a load I know a lot about this business. It was a tough shoot. Full Monty was a tough shoot. It really was. Honestly, everybody sees him doing it. They've all heard this, so...
don't mind doing it again.
No.
How horrible was it?
Horrible. I tell you, it was so horrible that when the people, Fox Searchlight, who'd made it, they saw the first cut of this thing and they went straight to video. That's what they said.
Wow.
It was just very, very tough. And the guy, the producer at the time, Umberto, he kind of begged Fox Searchlight and said, "Look, we've got 100 movies here. This guy shot the ass off this thing."
Yeah,
said, "So give us a chance, you know." So he and they kind of get rid of the editor, they get rid of the director, and Umberto and Nick Moore they brought on as an editor. They cut together what you saw, and this thing went from like almost straight to video. To date, it's taken about 400 million or something.
Well, to the Oscars. It went to the. It was up against Titanic and. What,
astonishing.
Crazy,
Astonishing.
yeah. It was amazing. Yeah. Not you. And Johnny, you've got that rarest of things, like a really successful TV drama, Elementary, in America and here. But even that, you said no to that originally, didn't you?
Yeah, I said no to it because of Sherlock was a great show, is a great show, and I was a big fan of it over here.
Oh, so that was Sherlock out first?
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, another incarnation of Sherlock Holmes. I don't think the world's ready for this at the moment, and I said no, and then I was persuaded by the differences in the show, and also the opportunity. Really, I felt a bit arrogant to turn down the chance to play such a wonderful character with a great new script, and there were enough differences. And I thought, who am I to turn down the lead in a network show?
Yeah,
and at least give it a go, And I'm glad I did.
Yeah. Well, no, because it's such a lovely life now. Because you're settled, you're in New York. You know.
Yeah, you get to have it's a tough schedule, but at least you get to. I don't have to travel, so I get to be like a parent without having to disappear for months at a time, and I really dig that.
And we're talking about that idea of what makes it like. So, Danny, you've made huge films. 28 Days Later, 127 Hours, Trainspotting, all those things. But you've made films that. Less successful. And which one? I can't name them.
I think you're looking great.
It's gloves off now. But I just wondered, as a director, what is the... I mean, maybe you never know, or is there a bit in the process? Is it in the edit? Is there a moment when you kind of go,
Yeah, you shouldn't really. You should believe in them all the time. But I think deep down you do know. What's much more difficult to know is when you know something's going to be a hit. No one knows that. It's like what Bobby said. You just don't know. Otherwise, there'd only ever be hit films. Why would they release ones that wouldn't be a hit?
That's a very good point. And also, no one tries to make a bad film.
No, you do. Yeah. Well, I don't know actually. Sometimes, but no, you try not to. Absolutely, yeah.
And then I suppose the opposite of this is Ewan, where you were being asked to do something that was a surefire big hit with Star Wars. Did you think long and hard about saying yes to that?
Oh, yeah, because I didn't think it was me at all. I felt like this sort of urban, indie, grungy actor, you know, and I took an audition for it like almost every young actor in the country did. And then I didn't even think about it, and then I got a bit closer and a bit closer, and then I think when I got to sort of the last recall or something, I think I called round. I spoke to Danny, spoke to my uncle who'd been in all three. He said, "Don't do it. If you want a career after you're 30, don't do it." But anyway, because I thought long and hard about it, because it didn't really feel like me at all. But the closer I got to it, the more I wanted to do it, I think.
When you got it, I think, didn't you celebrate with your neighbours?
Yes, there was a birthday party at Noel Gallagher's place round the corner from me in Belsize Park, and he is right in saying that he gave me my first lightsaber lesson, and it was like at 8 in the morning.
It must have been an early party.
It was, it was a pre-breakfast type party he was throwing. And we were at the back of the garden with plastic lightsabers having a ding-dong. It was funny.
But also, talking of Oasis were the only one of that kind of generation of bands. They missed the Trainspotting boat. Did they turn it down? Is that true? They turned it down.
Well, I don't know. That's what they say. They said they didn't want to get involved in a film about train spotters. I have no idea whether that's true. I remember thinking we haven't got any Oasis on this, and we couldn't kind of fit any Oasis in. So I don't know. They came to the party anyway, which is the important thing.
Yes. But actually, people forget that soundtrack. The CD. I'm telling you, you know. But do you remember that CD? Everybody had the Trainspotting soundtrack CD, and the music on it was phenomenal. And what was it? David Bowie played some part in the music.
Oh yeah, because we'd made a very small film, Shallow Grave, which had done very well, but you know, wasn't like an international film. And then suddenly we were asking for all these songs like Iggy Pop, Lust for Life, Lou Reed, Perfect Day, and you can't really get at these people, and you don't have the money in our budget to pay for it. And then suddenly we heard that David Bowie had seen our film, Shallow Grave, and had waved through these tracks, because he worked regularly with Lou Reed and is very instrumental in Iggy Pop's career. And so we put in the new film, we've got a little moment, we thought, how can we pay a tribute? Because he passed away the year we were making the film, and we thought, how can we pay a tribute to him? And you think about a song, and you think, well, how can you just use one song? And we had there's a little moment where Ewan goes through his old record collection. And actually what we did, we turned all the sound off, which you're not meant to do in movies. And it's just even the sound of his finger on the record as he flips through the record pile. And you just see a couple of his records, and that's our silent tribute to a man who filled the world with the most amazing sounds for 50 years and more, you know.
Oh, what a gorgeous thing. That's very nice. Now, Begbie, we must talk about Begbie. Because for you, that must have been... Like, everyone presumably after that film was just scared of you.
Yes. They still are. No, it was, I've played quite a few, but it was great because it gave me an awful lot of other kind of, you know, Begbie-type parts to play, so it gave me a kind of career's worth of that. But anybody that knows me knows I'm absolutely nothing like that. At all.
Honestly. I liked that on either side of Trainspotting, you were being the nicest policeman in the world. You're being Hamish Macbeth with your lovely little Westie Terrier.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cheers for Hamish.
Thanks very much. No, it was lovely. But it was a fantastic part to play. These kind of parts, these psycho parts, these are these when you can lose yourself. You know, I mean, you can your imagination runs riot, and something like Begbie is just an absolute pleasure to play.
But even your son is aware of Begbie.
Yes, he is.
But how old is your son?
He's 10. The 10 and 12, I've got two sons, 10, 12, my daughter's 14.
Has he seen the film?
No, he's not, but he's aware of Begbie, and he was certainly aware when I was shooting the film last springtime there, because I didn't stay at home when I was playing the part, because you've got a lot of stuff in your head when you're playing a part like that, and you don't want to kind of let it go every day when you go home because you need to dredge it back up the next day. So it's best to kind of stay away for the family during those moments because you don't want any of that chance, any of that kind of slipping out at all. But he was very aware that I was playing Begbie, and he dressed up accordingly when I went home one night.
I think we've got a little picture of him.
What? It was brilliant. He disappeared up. He saw me come in and he disappeared upstairs and he came back down the stairs.
Now, Danny Boyle is here, and we can't have you on the show without mentioning the London Olympics 2012 and that incredible opening ceremony. Yes. It's funny because actually, talking about nostalgia, I think people are nostalgic for it because it was a moment when it did its job so brilliantly that it made the UK love the UK and made us proud of being in the UK.
It was a massive privilege to do it, and people were surprised that I would want to do it because you know, the Beijing Olympics had been a huge thing, and I thought, no, this is we are amazing, and we don't tell each other that very often, and that's a good thing generally, but occasionally we should take stock and say we are absolutely amazing. So we wanted to do that, and we wanted to build it round the volunteers who came in their thousands from everywhere, all over the country. These guys drove down from Glasgow. They drove down through the night and then go back to work in hospitals in Glasgow. There was an extraordinary kind of coming together of people. It was really amazing.
And while we loved it, it sounds like it was an absolute nightmare for you, though, to try to corral this thing and try to force it on.
Well, as these guys hopefully might testify, I don't behave very kind of like dominantly as a as a director, but occasionally on that thing I had to, in the worst kind of foot-stamping, screaming, throwing things around kind of way, where you beat people over the head with your awards and anything you can muster to get your own way, you will do it to get your own way.
Showing up with an Oscar.
Just like literally saying, I'll go straight to the newspaper, I'll resign and go straight to the newspapers, you'll do anything to get your way, you know? Because you have to because there's this terrible sense of them trying to make it the same as the last one and not letting our beauty shine through.
And we must just mention the Queen, because you didn't think the Queen was going to be in it, did you?
No, we had this idea, you know, the idea that you saw in it, but we thought, obviously, we should just tell her, because it's a courtesy to say that we'll be impersonating her and, you know, having this fun scene with James Bond and everything. And then we got word through. We were expecting, like, oh, no, and, you know, we want to audition the double or whatever to make sure that it's tasteful. And she said, no, she wanted to do it herself, which was an astonishing moment, you know, so...
Showbiz.
So I went to meet her, and I'm one of the few people who've been in her private quarters, you know. Well, there was that guy who jumped in Buckingham Palace.
Michael Fagan, good trivia question. I didn't know it once, I've always known it since. Michael Fagan.
Anyway, so I went in, because we were setting up filming the sequence, and I went in, and so she said, I'm not in a very good mood, I've just been to the dentist. I thought, oh, right, OK. And she said, what do you want me to do? And so we described the sequence, and then when we got on the set and started doing it with Daniel Craig, she said I should say something, shouldn't I? Shouldn't I say something at this point? Well, if you like. So she said, yeah. So she said her line in the thing that's her line. She improvised it, and she was very sharp, because, you know, when you turn round, you know this, when you turn round when you're filming and do it from the other way, there's always a half-hour delay. She remembered everything exactly like that. You know, there was no continuity errors, guys, like...
Wow, cannot let it go. and very good, but yet you did turn down the knighthood. Lots of people walked away from that whole thing with honours, and no one would have begrudged you a knighthood. You know, I feel like you deserve to be Sir Danny Boyle after that.
It's just not my cup of tea. That was my dad would have spun in his grave. He'd just been like no. So it just wasn't my cup of tea. You know, I'm fine. I'm very, very fortunate in what I do. I already have plenty of rewards, like working with these guys and kind of...
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Even they're not buying it, it's them. Right, just before we finish tonight, there's one thing we haven't talked about. We haven't talked about tonight, and that is that iconic poster, the 1996 publicity campaign. Because, again, it broke the mould. That isn't what a film poster looked like. Is it true that this was the day after... Was it the rap party?
You're asking us like we would remember.
The legend is that you weren't feeling the best for this.
I think that's right. I remember travelling in a taxi with you at like 5 a.m. in the morning to go to Glasgow Airport after the rap party so that we could go down and do this shoot in London.
Is that when I blinded you with my Cockney accent?
Yeah, and then he started... I'd only known Jonny for the entire shoot as a Scotsman. And then in the taxi after the rap party, he started talking to me in his own accent, and I was really disorientated and disturbed, you know?
It was a special treat. I noticed. I see Kelly, obviously not here, Diane not here. So I thought, just a treat, if I could meet Kelly, if we could recreate this very, very quickly. So if you stand up and get out, just to there. So Alan, what order? So you're down this end. You're down this end, Robert. And then what is it? It's
you.
Robert. Then I'd be in the gap. Then who's next? Then yeah, and then you're at the end. Yeah. Okay. Now I do have some props.
It's a bit clear. Embarrassingly, I'm dressed almost exactly the same way.
No, that's right.
Yeah, did you know we were doing this, Ewan? You look like... I've shaved my head specially for this.
Yeah. I did, yeah.
That's for you.
Oh,
a little
God.
moustache
Thank
and a
you
cigarette.
very much.
There's Spud's glasses. Look, now... Jonny, if you want to go... do you want to go full Bond?
How can I not?
OK, do it. OK, hang on. Yeah. I've got my Kelly here. OK, really very well. OK, now, if we put up the graphics... you're that way. That way, I'm this way. So you're there. No, yeah, you're good. OK. And we're all doing it to that camera. See the going one direction. Right. So which one am I leaning as Kelly? I'm leaning towards you.
Seductively.
Are we all doing it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Beautiful job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Have a seat, too. Nicely done. We won't compare them. Listen, good luck with the film. I must say, Trainspotting 3, now people are already talking about Trainspotting 3. Will we all be here in 20 years talking about that? I hope not. Not for the film. I'd love to see the film. I just can't. That sounded rude. It wasn't meant to be. I just can't imagine being here in 20 years. Still going, what was it like?
Your own private
Can you imagine looking at old clips then? Jesus.
Well, the idea came from... Scotch accent.
You actually had a great idea about that. You could throw it to be a rest home for the junkies called Skagdale. Lying about.
T3, right there. Hey, it's time for music. This singer-songwriter was last year crowned the BBC's Introducing Artist of the Year and is chipped for the top in 2017. Here performing, talking to you, it's Izzy Bizu! Izzy Bizu, ready? Come and join me, too. That was gorgeous. Thank you so much. Come here. That's the cast of Trainspotting. There you go. There you go. Lovely. Have a seat there. Hey, Izzy.
Hi.
How old were you when the first Trainspotting movie came out?
I think I was 2.
There you go. In your face, Danny Boyle.
Thank you, Greg.
But you've seen it, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I saw it 2 days ago. I'm really late on the bandwagon, but it's so amazing.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. Blew my mind.
OK. Now, your album is out now. That's A Moment of Madness. And the single is also out now.
Yeah.
But separately.
Yes.
That is correct. OK, I'm just checking. And so, when the BBC Introducing thing happened, where had you been before that? I mean, how did they find you?
I was literally, like, writing in my bedroom with my guitarist, and we did, like, White Tiger there. And then we decided to, like, put the song up on BBC Introducing website, and they picked it up and then started playing it. And they've been really cool ever since, so... I
mean, that is fantastic. It's great that you can do it without reality. Congratulations. Izzy Bizu, everybody. But I believe we can facilitate a visit to the big red chair before that. Who's there? Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Pam.
Pam, lovely Pam. And what do you do, Pam?
I've just retired just before Christmas. I was an administrator.
An administrator?
Yes.
What did you administrate?
Yes, well, I was PA to a managing partner of a financial team.
Oh, you must be so glad to be not doing that anymore.
I am.
Yeah. Off you go with your story.
OK, well, I was going to take minutes at a very important board meeting, and my boss said it's going to be an all-day meeting, and I said, well, that's fine. I said, but can I bring my dog in? She won't be any problem. I said, because I'm going to be able to get home. And he said, yes, but Pam, you've got to realise it's a very important meeting and, you know, she's really got to be quiet. I said, you won't know she's here. I said, she'll just sit by the telephone exchange and she'll be with Monica. So I brought Woofer in and I put her underneath the telephone.
Can I just say, I can't imagine who you meet in the park shouting that. But,
well, we had to change it.
Woofer, the trees all park. Sorry, Pam.
We used to call her Woof, but when we were in the woods going woof, 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 and she disappeared, it did look a bit silly. Anyway, so I put Woofer by Monica and I said she won't do anything, she'll be fine. Went in to take the minutes, halfway through a very heated meeting and big debates, and all of a sudden there was this agonising, hair-raising howl. It was just awful, and I didn't know what had happened. I looked at my boss and he looked at me, and we, all of us, just ran out to reception. And we looked at Woofer, and she was lying there going, because she'd actually bitten through the telephone cables on the telephone exchange. And I looked at my boss and I thought, oh, my God. And I picked her up, but as I picked her up, I didn't know what to do. Her bodily functions just worked like a machine gun. I was looking at my boss and it was just all over him. And I don't know why I did this, but in slow motion, I just carried on looking at everybody else. And everybody was just, oh, my God, this is disgusting. And I was so horrified. And then after Woofer got over her trauma, I was still holding her and I just looked at my boss and I said, should we carry on with the minutes? Do you want to do any other business? And that's my story.
Good story, pal. Oh, good. It's fun, dog. You can walk. Sorry, you can walk. God. I'm really living in Australia. Not kidding, I'm moving. Can we try for one more? Oh, go on. Hi, what's your name?
Rosanna.
Where are you from?
Spain.
And what do you do?
I study a master's in biomedical engineering.
Great.
The
Best of luck with that. All right, off you go with your story.
So, in year 7, when I was like 12 years old, my parents thought it would be a great idea for me to learn English to come to UK in a boarding school. And at first I knew non-English at all. So one day there wasn't a pillow on my bed, so I asked a roommate how that was said so I could ask for one. And she told me it was called a dildo. I
like her.
Yeah, I love her from that moment on. So I didn't know. So I was going to ask the matron, but that night the headmaster of the school came to like switch off the lights. So me, innocently and as polite as I could, went there to ask for a dildo so I could sleep.
This very address. That is it for tonight. Please say a huge thank you to my guest, Izzy Bizu! Ewen Bremner!